We are back here now, as promised, for the WCW post show. And I think, honestly, me and you both know what we saw out there tonight was amazing. And with me, of course, is Eric Bischoff here, back again, after quite a night he's had in the ring.
Yeah, it was a pretty good match, but I'm not really crazy about it, because I sat outside most of the ring. But being a GM, being a boss, I'm not required to fight. Me getting in the ring would be like an added bonus because I'm risking my life to get in the ring.
You got in the ring, you showed some karate moves to the family jewels. Um,
And yeah, I was supposed to fight, Eddie Guerrero or Angel, but Big Cass is like twice their size.
yeah, but I think you have twice the size of an enemy now.
Oh, maybe. Maybe. I'm not sure. Not really sure.
But one can only wonder what's going to happen. Being that Cass is Enzo's friend, Cass probably doesn't like you, and we know Enzo and Eddie don't. But it seems like you picked up some friends in that
Yeah.
of Goldberg and Cody Hall for now.
At the moment, yes. And I'm looking for two more people. Cause
Oh, he's looking
I
for
would like to
more.
start I
Got a
would
bit
like
of
to
an
start a
enterprise going
faction.
on here.
Pretty much, I want to start like a stable slash faction
Looking,
type of thing
looking for an
for
entourage.
WCW. I just need to find two more people. And, Hulk Hogan looked pretty, he looked pretty big. If I can have him as like a tank. I don't know, maybe. I'll have to talk to his manager and see what he said. But then we also have Vader from the Dungeon of Doom. No, much as I don't want to like break up Tag Team or Stable Team, I just want to like follow them if that's what you say.
That's if they're so willing. You gotta see how they're feeling about their stables. All
Yes.
depends what they'll say.
Well, you can clearly say this. Episode 2 of WCW is when NWO took over the show.
That's for sure. I think Dungeon of Doom's down in the Dungeon of Dumps, more like it.
Surprisingly, yes, but if I could have changed a couple of things, I would have made, like, the tag team match between the Steiners and the Dungeon of Doom. I would have had the Outsiders, run in on them, but of course, couldn't do it. I couldn't, like, plan them to come out at the right time, so it couldn't actually happen.
And looking into what happened with the rookie overalls earlier at the end of the show, um, Braun Strowman's a 69 overall now.
Oh my god.
He's taking quite the fall. He's actually on a cold streak. Poor guy.
Yeah, he definitely
Uh,
is.
Enzo's a 66. He's the worst of it all. Big Cass is a 76.
Hey, he's no longer the realest guy in the room. He's actually the lowest guy in the room.
Oh man, in height and stand in the food
So
chain.
he should come out and be like, my name is Enzo Morris, and I am the lowest guy in the roster.
And and Cody Hall's still on a roll. He's a 94.
He definitely my go-to man when I need to give somebody a taste of their own medicine. But then I have my trusty, loyal. Uh, I guess I wouldn't really call him a sidekick because that would probably hurt his feeling. I call him like my personal bodyguard, Goldberg.
Your companion, compadre.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of the guys you have with you now, Cody, like I said, 94. He's on a roll. What's your plans with him?
Well, my original plan with Cody Hall was, reunite him with his father, Scott Hall, but I don't think that's gonna happen. I'm gonna have to, work on a contract to keep him with me.
Well, you never know. We are hearing there's a possible weasel over there in NWO. Not sure who it is.
I still have a funny feeling it's Scott Hall.
If
I
it
don't think
is,
he's like,
I mean, if he leaves, who he's going with, we don't know. And is he taking anyone with him? We won't know till it happens.
Yeah, we won't know. I just feel like Scott Hall's not like pulling his side of the tag team. I think Kevin Nash is doing all the weight, and then Scott Hall to take all the credit.
Well, we took a look into the news also during the show, and we saw back on the other half of the alliance there, ECW. They just had that Heatwave pay-per-view. Terry Funk got injured. He hurt his head apparently. What do you think on that?
Um, well, Paul Heyman contacted me and told me about him. The trainees in the back, he had to put like at least 5 stitches in the back of his head. Apparently, the chair he took, he took the chair to the back of the head, backstage by somebody. They couldn't catch it on camera. So he had to do like 5 or 6 stitches, and he didn't need a training area resting up.
They say it's gonna
But
take a couple weeks, but he can fight
yeah,
still.
and then the sad part is he would tell me how Dory Funk just arrived to the building after getting out of that horrible
Oh
storm.
yeah.
So now Dory Funk is gonna arrive at ECW with nowhere to go to.
Well, I mean, Terry's friends with Cactus Jack. Maybe Cactus is willing to make peace with Dory at any rate. I don't think they've had the honor of meeting, quite frankly. Maybe something there.
I don't really know exactly everything that's going on in ECW. I only hear a couple of things from Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
We try to work out, and he got a few. He said we can do a future trade in the future here, cause he got a wrestler I want. I got a wrestler he want. We might work something out. And then I was just on the phone with Vince from WWF,
Oh,
and yeah, and funny thing he was telling me about. He said he wanted to talk to the commissioner of the Reborn, and he wanted to pull out of ever working with AAA and NJPW. He doesn't want anything to do with them. Apparently, from what he told me, the GM of them people are going after him as well.
is it true now? I'd like to hear from him in person, hopefully, on that situation.
So
I
I
wouldn't
told
doubt the
him,
possibility that's probably happening.
I told Vince I'm pulling out of working with AAA and R&M, and I would like to have a partnership with WWF or NWA. He said, yeah, we could probably work the deal out. It only comes to pay-per-view though, which I understand that. And I wouldn't mind taking 3 matches and want him to get a 4, whatever it takes. But it's all up to the commissioner yourself, and let's see if we can actually work out a deal.
We'll see what happens. I mean, we don't know if AAA and NJPW will have the same owner forever. The way things are going, who knows? Don't know if he wants to keep doing it
Hey,
at that rate. I don't know. Maybe someone else wants to.
from
Who
the
knows?
from the look of his other show, I mean, I caught a sneak peek of them, and I want to see what my competition would like. And I'm not worried about AAA. That show, NJPW, like I could play better matches than that. For example, I just think how it was retarded how Bo Dallas beat like an 8-foot giant.
I still can't believe that. You would have needed a ladder to take him down. That's
He
still
would have.
something.
But yeah,
Took a page out
I'm
of
not
David and
worried about
Goliath.
them. But I'm not working with them, so you're gonna have to find a new person to work with him because I'm done. WCW and ECW will never work with AAA and NJPW. Not happening.
Well, let's take a look at the rankings on some titles here.
Yeah,
Tara,
let's do that.
the new Bombshells champion.
Oh my god, that match was totally a shock. Now I say that like a white girl who just came out of the mall because honestly, Taylor has let me down 3 times on 3 different occasions. But then she finally came back.
I think the thing was she needed a chance to get her hands at someone one-on-one. That's all she needed right there.
Yeah, but you can't really affect a one-on-one with WCW or ECW because We have so many people in the back who just waiting for the opportunity. Now I'm
Almost
not
100
saying that.
people between the Alliance
No,
and over
I'm not
50 in
saying.
WCW.
I'm not saying like this is the win of opportunity, but I have a plaque that's over my chair in my office that said everybody will get to chant when the time comes. Now, that being said, I'm not gonna favor people. If I feel that you deserve a chance and get some TV time, I will plan you a match. If I don't, just sit back and relax. Now, I told Taylor right out, if you don't start winning matches, don't start asking for matches. She won the last two matches, so she definitely deserves more shot. And well, now she's the new bombshell champion, the second time champion, I should add. She
Let's
might have new
take
competitors.
let's take a look at the top three we're dealing with in the Bombshells division for contendership. We got
Yes, we should definitely look at that.
the champion before. Well, let's say the first person who let's put this the first person to win the title basically was Lita. Because Tara was granted it, Lita won it. Lita is number one contender.
I mean, okay, it would be in line, but the way I see it, I think on ECW I might do a contendership match. I might ask Paul Heyman to give me, give me that match for myself and Paul and Eric Bischoff will actually plan it. So what I think I might do maybe a battle royale or maybe even a chamber. I don't. Can you actually do a chamber as a woman? I'm not sure. I have to get. I don't want to ask my production crew backstage if it can
And
actually do a
probably the
chamber for
medical
women.
staff too, just to make sure things are all right. And they're
Yes, and
all
I'm not sure if
prepared.
they can actually withdraw or endure the pain from the cell.
And definitely consult the trainers.
Now, Trish Stratus, she didn't. I mean, I don't see how she's number two.
Well,
We'll have to see where it goes from there.
she's had some time. And then how is Alicia Fox number three, rounding out that top three? She got her
Alicia
head
Fox,
kicked off her shoulder.
she's
Where is she coming
still
from?
in the trainer right now. She's still with the trainer right now because her jaw is not perfectly aligned from that super kick.
And Paige, since losing her title, fell all the way to number 6.
Well, she fell number six. Now, not to say that I would agree with that. I think she would fall to at least a three. Now, am I required to give her a rematch? Not necessarily. Is she reliable to require one? She could, but I think she could earn that rematch or just earn a match in general.
And then we've got Jacqueline. She's the worst in your
I can't
division.
say too much on Jacqueline. All I can say, tune in for ECW where she might show up.
All right. Well, then we go over to take a look at the WCW Hardcore title of Hollywood Hulk Hogan's that he still holds and is
Yeah,
yet to defend.
that's another thing I have to bring up. Now, some people might actually say I'm giving him a free pass every time. Not necessarily. I've been trying to find an opponent that could actually beat him, and every match he has yet to lose. Therefore, I have nobody who can actually that would actually have a chance. Now, while I was doing these important business things, I was actually contacted by Haku's manager, and his manager was like, "You need to give him a title shot, or he might be leaving the company because he's tired of the BS that's happening during each of these matches." So I decided next week on WCW we'll have a one-on-one Hulk Hogan versus Haku.
Sounds like Hogan's gonna die. We're talking about a sumo wrestler here. We're talking about the two best guys in all of Reborn right now.
Which will mean this match should be a Hell in a Cell. Or better yet, maybe a last man standing. I don't know yet. You're gonna have to come back next week and tune in to see what I actually pick.
Maybe a steel cage?
No, I think Steel Cages, they're like so incapable of holding people in because they want to escape so fast.
True, and
And
for guys like
where
Hogan and Haku is territorial.
it,
Again, being
yeah,
the sumo wrestler he is, and
he's like a
Hogan runs
speed freak.
wild like
So
a maniac.
yes, and he would climb the
So,
cage like super fast, and it would be kind of boring. And I don't plan boring matches. I plan matches that are and always will be extreme to the end.
so then we got let's take a look at his top 10 contenders list. Randy Savage, a member of the NWO, is his number one contender.
Well, before we start down this way, why don't you tell me a couple of things that happened in tonight's Hell in a Cell? How did Randy Savage actually fare in that match?
I felt like he had some rough times in there due to the sizes of some of the other guys, but he gave it right back to him. And we saw him go up there and hit the Macho Man elbow drop, and it was just wow. I actually thought he might have been going like on a roll to where he could have possibly won, but right when he's close, something just stops him. It was so much going on, and I honestly don't feel like that match should have ended the way it did. And maybe Savage could have won. You never know, but Luger won that, and he cheated.
And that's another thing. Now,
You need to talk to your refs.
no left. No, I need to set some ground rules. I don't understand why so many people on my roster are carrying or doing these duty pins. They don't sound realistic, and I'm not liking them. I mean, once in a blue moon, they'd be fine to do, but dirty pins, pulling black knuckles out of your underpants.
Yeah, what's going on here?
Why?
Well, let's talk about number two here. The Rock. He's a clean fella. The Rock, he's number two. He's been a good guy. He had a classic feud with Hogan. Could we see that in the future?
The Rock versus Hogan. Potentially, but unlikely.
And then let's look at the world champion. Goldberg is number three. Does he want to hold both titles?
Now, a dual champion. Woohoo! The first ever dual champion would be something.
But also, what about this young
But
up-and-coming kid, Cody Hall, right there at number four?
hey, if I could get all five of my guys as champions, I would probably be unstoppable. No one would want to mess with me.
Maybe give Cody Hall a shot. Kid seems
That
like he's ready for it. And you are having a hard time
what
finding
about
someone to take down Hogan.
what about now? I have to give Haku a shot today. We told him manager.
It's true.
So Haku, if anyone your manager is listening, how about a triple threat for the title? You, Hogan, Cody Hall.
Oh, wow. That's going to get insane.
Sounds like a good deal. We'll have to wait till next week to get his actual answer because I don't have his phone number on hand.
It's true. It is hard to contact his manager as Haku is a little bit off on the English. It's best to speak to Haku's manager.
Yeah.
And I'm sure The Rock can probably help you get that number. He's of the family, so maybe talk
Most
to him
likely.
afterwards. And yourself, you are number five. You want Hogan's title.
I don't want a title, and let me tell you why. Not that I could not win. I could guarantee take Hogan that.
Could you now?
I'm just saying. I don't want the title. I'm already bought. I already have the highest title ranking. I own everybody who's in my roster. Therefore, I don't need a title to prove that I am the boss.
Well, we got another member of the NWO, Rick Rude, is number six in the ranking for Hogan's title.
No, again, half the people that are in my roster, I don't give them any TV time because I don't really know them and know what they can do in the ring. Yes, I should probably give them opportunity, but do I want to or do I need to? It's the real question. Now, Rick Rude, I know he's like part of somewhat of the NWO, but I haven't really seen him. You would think if the NWO actually wanted to give him some TV time, they would come to my office and act directly, but they haven't. So they must not care for Rick Rude. Maybe they'll get rid of him. Maybe they won't. I don't know. I don't know.
All right. Well, then I mean, he's of good size, so if he does get a chance, he'll stand a chance. But then we got Vampiro at number 7. We just saw him win his ladder match tonight.
Hey, I said during that match, whoever got the briefcase gets a title shot. So we could be looking at a fatal four-way for holding title. We could be looking at something for a Goldberg title. I don't know. I guess you did have to turn in for next week. 'Cause I have nothing planned at the moment. And planning matches like this take more than a couple of seconds. My show is definitely not AAA, was half-assed. And I'm definitely not NJPW who constantly asking for help. I can handle myself.
Well, rough words for the other promotions out there. We'll see how they fare. But number 8, Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
Not
That
happening.
is the worst guy
Not
in
happening.
WCW. How did he make it to number 8? The
Well,
worst veteran
I'm telling you right
on
now,
the locker room. I mean, some of the rookies are worse than
Hunter,
him, but he's the worst vet you got.
Hunter, if you can hear me right now, you never did a title shot. So, have fun in
He's actually the
WWF.
least paid guy in your company.
Yeah? Well, he definitely not getting paid at all.
Poor Hunter. So terrible. And number 9 and 10, the Steiner brothers, Rick and Scott. Rounding it out. They're already tag
Um,
champs.
Yeah, I'm not gonna put up any tag teams in my solo. They would have to be really bad, fighting constantly, one leaving to win, to just walk off and leave the other one behind. And unless they actually do fight and then have it going solo, that would be the only they're going to do a solo title. If you're a tag team, you're going for the tag team title. End of discussion. Moving on.
All right, so let's take a look at Goldberg's WCW World Heavyweight title. And actually, before we do that, who's at the last place for the Hardcore title? Bret Hart is last place. Ouch. Poor Bret.
Ha ha ha. Poor Brett. Yeah.
He's also last place for
Um.
Goldberg's title.
Well, again, I don't. If I don't see potential. Okay, so that day we have our own little gym. Where everybody can do the exercise, do the routine before they go to the ring. Half the people don't that on my roster, they just sit in the break room and eat whatever food we buy for the company. They don't really exercise like they really care to want a shot. So I think starting next week I'm gonna put a sign above the break room. If you come in here and goof off, don't expect TV time.
Well, I mean, one can only feel sorry for Bret Hart, though. I mean, Goldberg in the past, as we know, was the guy who caused Bret Hart to stop wrestling.
Yeah. But you really think he's gonna do it again?
Maybe. If he ever has to, he might. But let's take a look at
Nah, I
Goldberg's
can't see
top
that.
10. Let's not focus on the
Yeah.
loser. No offense, Bret. But come on, you're number 48. All right, number 1, we got Chris Jericho. Huh.
Well, Chris Jericho, huh? Haven't heard from him in a while. I know his better half in ECW is still kind of injured at the moment.
Yeah.
By better half, I mean like older self.
And
Uh,
number
I yeah.
Go ahead, sorry.
No, that was pretty much it.
Oh, all right. All right. Number 2, we got The Big Show.
Hey, that Fatal 4-Way was godlike. That was better than I hoped. I thought it would be just a small match. Somebody get knocked over and get pinned, especially Braun Strowman. I thought Braun Strowman would be easily get pinned because his kickout bar is only 30 out of 100. So, I thought he would get it,
And now
the
he's a
kick wash.
69 overall. Oh boy.
So, what I might have to do is, depending on who wants to go for Goldberg title, I have to do Big Show a shot.
Maybe if anyone can beat him, it's Big Show. He's pretty large. And then
Yeah.
we got The Rock. Could be something.
The Rock is asking for TV time. I know he's like the great one, but you're not great unless you have gold around your waist.
All right. Well, maybe one day he'll get some. We'll see. But then before we got Randy Savage.
No.
Uh,
No.
number 5, we got Booker T.
I mean, Booker T had fought Goldberg in the past, and from what I've known, it only takes one spear and one jackhammer.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's the way for most of his opponents. And then we got Cody Hall.
I
The
need
young
them
up and
to
coming
become
kid.
friends. I need them to become friends. I need them to start working together, not as a tag team where I need them to like, so when I need them for, support, I can get either some speed or just some power. Both of them have their own power and speed, because we know Goldberg got the spear. But then we also know Cody had the power of the border. So they kind of even out.
Well, then there's you, number 7.
Again, I'm not going for any of my fun titles. I don't want a title. I'm already the boss. I don't need a title to prove that I am the best. No, I do not think I could beat Brock. I don't think I could beat Goldberg, because I don't want to die.
Oh,
I don't want to die
yes.
in 50
He
seconds.
destroyed Guerrero, Enzo, and his partner and just actually decided to leave him for you.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm not going after Goldberg. I don't feel like dying in 50 seconds.
And then we got the man who ended Goldberg's winning streak, Kevin Nash, number 8.
Hmm. Well, I don't know if he could do it again. Quite frankly, don't want to see it. So, better than to like have a fantasy match and not make it happen at all.
All right, well, then we got Sting, the Crow, number 9. An old friend and rival of
Well,
his.
I can't just keep giving people a shot. As I told you before, I need people to build themselves up before they just start demanding title shots. So even if they're on the top 10, that doesn't mean I'm giving you a shot. If you want a shot, you better be in the top 3 or the top 5. But if you're in the top 10, from 5 to 9, I think you better go win a match. And with Sting, he lost a lot of match to even Pyro.
He's about one more loss from getting taken off TV, I would assume.
I'm not gonna take people off TV because they keep losing. Because if I were to take Braun Strowman would already be gone.
Yeah, this is true. We do need losers in wrestling. That's what makes winners. Not to say Sting's a loser, but he ain't
Well,
currently a winner.
Enzo's already a loser.
Oh, man. He turned into a clown. I think you should ask for Doink's face paint. Might do him some good.
Hey, maybe.
And then, rounding it out, the hardcore champ, Hollywood Hulk Hogan. Maybe he wants to be a multi-champ. Maybe we have a champ-champ match.
That's not possible.
It ain't, but it's pretty funny.
You can only challenge for one title, so somebody would have to put it on the line. And quite frankly, I would like to put, Hulk Hogan title on the line because I like Goldberg having been a champion.
And Goldberg being your friend and all. Meanwhile, NWO, they've been taking over lately. I don't think there's anything that can stop
Which is
Hulkamania.
why I think if I could personally create a faction of 5 of the strongest people, well, 4 and myself, I can't call myself the strongest, not yet, but like, if I can get 4 of myself, and we can just challenge the NWO.
Well, currently the Steiner brothers are your WCW Tag Champions.
Yep.
But let's take a look at their top 3. The NWO being number 1, they've taken over for sure.
I mean, clearly they beat the Dungeon of Doom tonight, which means they're pretty much guaranteed a shot next week. But the real question is, can they survive up until then without an injury on the road?
And I mean, they were the former champs. So.
They weren't champ for long though. They were champ for maybe 2 weeks.
And then we got Enzo and Big Cass somehow at number 2.
Enzo is never getting a title. I don't care how much money he has. I don't care how much swag he has in no pants. He will never get a title shot.
And then, interestingly enough, rounding out your top 3, a team that hasn't yet had a chance, and they're both rookies, the Usos.
Ah, that is a pretty good question. I didn't even know the Usos were back there. 'Cause, you know, I, I got the face version of them. Which means they're always screaming, ooh! While I'm screaming, yay! At them. So maybe I'll give them a shot next week. Maybe I'll have them fight Enzo and Big Cass and see how they fare.
Sounds like a plan. Be good to get them some TV time. Maybe even get them a tag match in the future with The Rock or Haku. I mean, they're family. It'd be something to see.
The Rock and the Haku. They're not an official tag team, so therefore they're not actually a main one. And as I told you before, if you're not an official tag team, you're going for a single belt. If you're an official tag team, you go for the tag belt. I'm not just gonna put 2 random people against the champion or even a competitor and see how they fare.
But let's find out who's the worst person here. The Dungeon in the Dumps. Dungeon of Doom. Number 6.
Which is actually not in a bad way. They actually are Dungeon of Dump because if they couldn't beat NWO, and the part is, I know they weren't the strongest because Beta and Big Bang Big are definitely the strongest tag team in NWO. But the fact that they couldn't beat Scott Hall, that just tells you right there, they're not that good.
Scott Hall's one of the leaders. He's no slouch there.
You know,
Now, if it were Savage or Rude, then I'd be laughing. But
Savage and Rude, oh my god.
Hall is 6'7", 290 pounds. He's nothing to sleep on, and he chokeslammed a 6'9", 450-pound monster one-man gang, not once but twice to put him down. And he did it while bleeding.
True. There's been a lot of bleeding today. The trainers in the back are not actually happy how I planned my matches this week. We had, let's see, Big Cash was bleeding a little bit. I believe Eddie Guerrero had a minor cut on his forehead from all those kicking in the face.
And, I think we're in store for quite the show next week. Anything you want to tell us about your future with this company?
My future of the company. As I told you in every show, I give every match my best. I make sure they are realistic as much as possible. I make sure everybody puts on a good fight. These are not planned. Whatever happened that ring is realistic. So if somebody just busted open and they start bleeding, that is not planned. Yeah, I may plan to win, but the way the person gets the win, that's up to them. Like I said, ECW, extreme is only as far as you take it.
All right. Well, thank you for that. And now we know what to expect here in WCW Monday Nitro next week. But also, make sure to tune in for ECW, which will likely be happening in a couple of days, if not several days at the very most.
I'm sure Paul Heyman will get in contact with you. He'll probably be talking to me after this
Yeah.
show because we need to discuss, the bombshell title and whatnot.
And also, tomorrow, be sure to tune in to a, I wouldn't say it's a show, but it's a something called AAA. Thank you very much for being here. Any last words before you and I go?
I hope you enjoy the show. Um, if you could, you can give this show a follow by following Reborn, and could really put a lot of work into these shows, and he GM'd working for him, such as myself, Vlad, and the other kid. We do our best to put on a good stream for everybody, and we all hope you enjoy.
All right, well, thank you very much, and have a wonderful evening, folks. Thank you once again, Eric Bischoff, as he is going now as much as I am going to. Thanks for watching, everyone, and hopefully you enjoyed the show. This has been Monday Nitro.